Hey there, welcome back to the channel. I'm so happy that you're here on our little corner of the internet. I'm really excited to show you these clips today, especially because I have a surprise for you. I unearthed the Polaroids that I told you I took from the eclipse. So you're going to see what I saw, and I can't wait to get your opinion, especially because something weird happened when I tried to upload them, which I will also show you. Now, I didn't replace my batteries yet, but there is magic to be had. Let's get to it. So I don't know what this is. Perhaps there's a rational explanation for it, but I'd much prefer something weird, of course. I wanted to show you the clip like this so you could see that it was being taken of somebody's cell phone taking it. So that kind of added to the validity for me. But now we'll zoom in for a really quick second just to peek at what this really looks like. So it kind of seemed like it went into the ocean or something, something, right? I don't know what it is. Like I said, perhaps there is a perfectly rational explanation. Maybe this is what it looks like when rockets are launched. I really have no idea. I've never seen that in real life, so I cannot attest to that. But I'd love your input. It looked really cool, and I'm confused.
So you see how this corner is all busted out right here, and they filled this in right here, they concreted this in and put this block right here. Somebody busted this cornerstone out and took the time capsule that was behind this cornerstone. You can see this is the plaque that they gave you right here, AD 1848. That's not a cornerstone, that's a face stone. They knocked this cornerstone out. There would have been paperwork on who built it, the original dates, and this is how our past generations let the future generations know who really built these structures. Because this isn't a church, this is a giant Knights Templar fortress. See how it says Van Rensselaer Street? Stephen Van Rensselaer. I told you in my last video he was a 33-degree Grandmaster in New York State at the age of 22. See right here in this window, that's a Templar crest right here, all right? That's just the first floor right here. This whole building goes down underneath right here. They got it all locked. That man right there with the cross on his chest is a Templar Knight, okay? That aura around his head, or that bulb, that halo, that's the active electric field from these guys being fully connected to the ether. So they're going to try to tell you that the Templars were never in America and that this was constructed in 1848. That's a flat out lie. The Templars reigned in the early thousands overseas, but they are actually in America also. Nobody's going to be able to debate me on anything I'm saying right now. I promise you. These doors are magnetic arcs right here. You can see these little balls right here on the arc right here. These are ion charges. This increases the magnetic field, okay? This is all magnetism. These lights right here were powered by electric fields through the ether, wireless energy. You see how they run these cables up and hook them up to the copper roofs? That's to block the charge because there's a copper roof underneath it. This is what these buildings look like, the power stations right here with them cones on the top. That's what powered these buildings. So this is what they turned the building into, was Cohoes Public Library. You can see the peak of this building, all right? That's copper. This all conduct electricity. They poured these steps up, added this ramp to this doorway. This doorway used to be a giant window, all right? This all drops off in the back. Just look how far off this drops right here. Look what they got down here. Family center. You see how this all drops off? It's still the same stone all the way in here, even down here. There's a foundation underneath this, okay? This isn't the original ground floor or floor one. They added all this here. You can see on the side, the whole street got raised around the corner. This all goes down. There's a set of train tracks right here. Right on the other side, it drops off another 20 feet. That's where the base level of this building sits. I'm not even playing. Just look at this staining and weathering right here. This is from a mud flood right here. This is all dried mud on this wall. I could literally chip it off with my hand if I pulled it off. This is not stucco. They do not apply it like this. Okay? I said you could see this don't match this stone right here. They put this whole section in right here and converted to this window. Okay? This would have been wide open. And there's your little man watching. I swear, these guys pop up in every single video. I wonder what they're doing. Huh? I mean, you guys think this is a coincidence? There's another pagan dude with horns right on it. That's Lucifer right there.
And then there's one.
She came outside.
One right under the point of the window.
Around back? Oh, right there. I see him.
You could come in the fence. He's good. You know, this is all in terracotta sculpture.
Really?
Yep, really.
Yeah, it's interesting. He's a doctor. He does it to entertain himself.
Yeah, he has a studio over in Troy. His name is Brian McCandless. Have you ever been in? Trying to think of that. What's that pizza place over in Troy that's got a big brick oven? But
I'm not really familiar with Troy or like the pizza shop.
you don't know. Well, he did a big gargoyle head that goes around the open brick pizza oven. About
Really? What pizza shop? What pizza shop? Do you know?
I'm trying to remember the name of it. I know where it is. I don't remember the name of it. But if you call Troy, you'll.
We don't need to hear his conversation with this person, but how nice that they let him investigate their house. I am increasingly intrigued by old architecture and, just kind of like obviously the concealment of history. I've seen so many compelling videos of, I should find more and show them to you. I don't know if you guys are into this stuff. Let me know if you are, because I've found things that are just like incorrect plaques of years. And just speaking of time, this next clip came through kind of quiet despite all of my efforts, but it's kind of worth it. So turn it up if you want to hear, and feel free to skip ahead if you don't.
Well, folks, it's time for a social experiment.
So I'll just go ahead and read what's going on here to you to make it a little easier. So this person did an experiment with a network clock versus internal clock on their electronic devices. It shows a considerable time delta between network versus non-network time, despite both devices being technologically precise on both fronts. So you'll see an iPad, which is on the network, and then you'll see the iPhone 12 on the right. And what this person did is they started the experiment in November of 2023, and they left it on airplane mode. So nothing has happened with this phone. They've left it on and charging, like, they made sure it didn't die or anything. And they just kind of saw what happened with time in comparison to the phone that was kind of like up to date on the network. So there were major differences in timing when one was left to be what I guess you would say natural time, and this one that stayed on network time. So if you can turn it up to hear it, it's worth it, I think.
Here, watch this. I've had this phone on airplane mode since November 2023, and the date it says here is April 7th, 2024.
So just in case you can't see the words, again, the experiment started November of 2023, and the date that they took this video was December 22nd, 2024. So it's been a year.
According to this phone, only a few months have gone by, whereas here, a whole year has gone by on network time. Look at this. Raises the question. This is December 22nd. Today is December 22nd, 2024, but this clock here, which is on its own network time, has been on airplane mode for the same amount of time, right? A year and change, but the last messages sent were in November, which means I must have turned it off mid-November 2023. And there's a huge time discrepancy. There's at least an 8-month time difference here, a lag on phones that are kept on airplane mode.
Yeah, so the phone that was on airplane mode, I believe that says April, so it went from November to April in the time that it took us to go from last November to this past December. 2 Novembers ago to this past December. So the point being, there's a theory that the powers that be, are speeding up time. Because we all say that, right? We all say that time is going quicker. The week goes by quick. The day goes by quick. It feels like there's really not enough time to do half the things you want to do, let alone everything you have to do. So, or vice versa, all the things you have to do, let alone the things you want to do. It could be.
So the internal clock, what it tells us is the internal clock is running much slower than network time.
Mm-hmm.
And the question we should be asking ourselves is, why is that? What's the real time here? Are we supposed to be trusting network time? Is it really linked up to how how the planet is moving, revolving around the sun, or is it something different? Anyways, some questions to ask for us. Again, I've kept this phone off since November 2023. I kept it on airplane mode, kept it turned on, but on airplane mode, versus this one, which is live, December 22nd, 2024. And there's at least an 8-month gap there in the time. This clock running much, much slower. I guess the next video would be to calculate how big of a difference is the rate of time. All right, that's about it.
So, of course, I think it's always important to try to come up with every reasonable explanation for something. And I was kind of thinking, oh, maybe it's a screenshot, but the time changes. So there goes that theory. I would love to hear what you guys think. It never occurred to me to attempt anything like this because it never occurred to me that without being on the network, time would go differently. That was mind blowing to me. I hope you guys find it enjoyable too, or at least concerning. Hey there, just a quick reminder that I make these videos every day, Monday through Friday. So if you're enjoying the content, go on ahead and hit that subscribe button so you can join this awesome community that we're building. We're going to go ahead and get right back to it. Thanks for being here. Okay, I'm going to do this first because I'm really excited to show you these clips. So this is, okay, first let me find, oh, so I'm going to show you 3 different Polaroid photos. And at the time of taking them, I saw nothing in the sky. I did not take these photos like, oh, hey, there's something weird up there. I did not do that. I took the photos and this is what developed in them. And on the first one, I thought, oh, okay, maybe something with the film, old Polaroids or whatever. No, not the case because it shows up in 3 different ones. Now, first, I tried to show you this I did this so many times too. This photo is of like from my phone because I went back to the time period. I searched for, April of last year and I tried to find just to see because it doesn't, I mean, it makes sense that it would show up in Polaroids and not on this thing, right? But I just felt like maybe there was something that we were missing. But I say we, like we're here together doing this. But look at this. So this is a photo. You can actually see, if you look, there's the green thing, whatever that is. And then there's this weird mesh of stuff above it. And then right behind that, you can kind of see clouds, right? So the photo I was trying to show you was of those clouds because I did end up seeing something a little odd in there. But when I send the photo from my phone and download it, this is how it showed up. I did this 3 different times. It didn't even show up in my downloaded photos. I had to search by like all file. I don't know, some weird way I was able to find it, but this is what it looked like. So that's the one picture from my phone where there was this black thing in the sky that was odd. The only one that I was able to find. And then the other one, this one, I took a photo on a coffee table or a table that was outside of all of the Polaroids. Just kind of, I don't know. I like as much proof as possible when you're trying to show stuff like this because anybody could be like, oh, that's not true. So I took a photo of all of the photos together with my phone. So any photo of this situation that I have on my phone would not let me show it. Luckily, I was able to send these ones. So this is one of them. There's the sky. Look, ready? What is that? And okay, I do want to say one thing. Whenever we show those squid things in the sky and I say I have these Polaroids, okay, I guess it doesn't look exactly like that. It more looks like the things from War of the Worlds, doesn't it? Like where it has like a top point and then the tentacle type things. It's still in the squid realm, I would say. But look at that. Okay, now you guys are going to say it could be anything flying through the air. It could be something on the lens, blah, blah, blah. I'm telling you, this is far away. I should have shown you a picture. I should have shown you a photo of where I took this because it was on this precipice of my yard where you're kind of obviously a precipice. You're above everything else looking out. And this is the direction of a state park, kind of. Or in that realm of direction. It's far away, I presume. So here's another one. It's the same thing, but it's moved. It's obviously moved. It's not the same position. Sorry. There. But there it is. Same bits, same formation, just flying over that way for a while. What is that? That was in the sky, invisible to the eye. Look at that. And you can kind of see the trees there of the forest. And these are very tall, gigantic trees. This is the top of them, but I need to know what you think. Here's another one. So these are the three that I have. And had I known that this was there, I would have taken a lot more. But I'm glad I got this. And I've been speechless on this ever since. And I kind of said, maybe I shouldn't tell anybody about it, but why not, right? Because who knows? Maybe it's a kite, right? So that's it. That is what it is. It's that one, and that one, and that one. The only three that I have, and for some reason, I'm unable to show you the other. That's what I got for you. What do you think? I hope you liked it. Now we're going to move on to some radar action that I found quite interesting. I think you will too. Let's go.
February 8th, 2025, and we are clearly covering the Palisades fire as well as at least 4 other fires. There is a video I need to show you that I posted a few months ago during the Ventura fire. Some of you may have seen this, but this video has never been more important than it is today. It is literally showing Area 51 and military craft over that area laying something in the sky. It could be chaff, it could be something else. It then flows directly to Southern California without fail, right where the fires are. I posted this video on X and it is currently going super viral. Watch this video and then tell me what you think when it comes down to Area 51, the fact that they canceled so many people's insurance, fire insurance, in the last couple months, and they have no water to put these fires out. These fires are 0% contained, all 5 of them, and it's just getting worse and worse. My friends, this video is going to blow your minds. Please share it in case it gets removed, because this is touching on some stuff that cannot be explained right now. Enjoy. All right, everyone, welcome back. This is going to blow your mind. Once again, we are looking at Area 51. As these fires are going on in Southern California, they are laying something over Area 51, It's then being shot by the NextRad radar system. You can see that clear as day right here. It is then expanding and being dropped right over Southern California. And then take a look at what happens to Area 51. This is totally insane. This is not normal, and this is not birds or bugs. I can promise you that. There is something very odd going on with the military or something that's taking place in Area 51 and then being dropped in the sky, which is then carried over by the jet stream or some sort of wind pattern into Southern California. I talked about this yesterday when we predicted these wildfires based on a northwest anomaly that we saw, again from the NextRad radar system, which then led to insane wildfires in Ventura County. Now we are seeing more and more of this being dumped over Area 51 and then flows into Southern California. What is going on here? And then look at how the NextRad towers go absolutely berserk. There is no chance that this isn't related, my friends. This is now 2 days in a row we have captured this happening over Area 51 and flowing down into Southern California, exactly where these wildfires are. And I'm going to continue digging into this to see exactly how long they continue this for. If you look close enough, you can find stuff like this every day on these satellite charts. All right, so one final time, let's dissect this. Right here, we have it dropped over Area 51, a perfect lineup with where the base is. And just like yesterday, as soon as it's laid out, we have the zap coming from the radar, the same one coming from Nevada right here. Then we have the expansion as it moves into Southern California. Just like yesterday, those radars start going off and crazy. And that's when this disco party begins in Nevada. Check this out. This is just unbelievable to see happening and then have no one point this out. Just as the cloud is getting over Southern California where all the wildfires are, we start seeing the NextRad towers from different states crisscrossing right over Area 51. Those are where our scalar beams are happening. And this is just insane to watch. February 8th, 2025, and we are clearly covering the Palisades fire as well as
That was interesting. I needed to share that one with you. I don't even know what to say, except for that I'm glad there are people out there who understand the radar and share this stuff with us so that we can know. Though I don't know what we're all going to do with this information. We're also curious and we want to know and we want to be aware, but I feel like the ultimate point of being aware is to fix something if there's a problem or prepare. And I really don't know how we can prepare when we don't really know what's going on or what the end game is. We have snippets, but I think it's so much bigger. Not to get all conspiracy theory on you guys, but it's my nature. I found this clip and I needed to show it to you.
The song Crazy Train is inspired by the story of this man. Back in the 1800s, there was a train conductor named Mo D. Lon who spent years traveling across the country via the railroad. But by the late 1870s, a wave of horrifying crimes began sweeping across towns. Houses were broken into, and victims were found brutally struck by a sledgehammer. At the time, authorities didn't realize these crimes were happening nationwide. Then, in 1879, the Appleby family was jolted awake one night by the sound of a window shattering. When the father went downstairs to check, he came face to face with a man wielding a sledgehammer. Acting quickly to defend his family, he managed to survive the attack and witnessed the man escaping through the back door, boarding a train that ran along the tracks behind their home. When police were notified, they pieced together that the culprit behind the string of murders was a train conductor. In response, a special task force was formed to catch him. Officers were stationed in random homes along the railway across the country in hopes of intercepting him. Months passed, and Mo eventually broke into one of these houses. Although the officers inside couldn't apprehend him on the spot, they managed to identify his train. What followed was a dramatic pursuit. Officers on horseback chased him relentlessly for nearly an entire day, urging him to surrender. Refusing to be caught, Mo diverted his train onto a section of closed tracks. After a short time, he approached a bridge that was incomplete. Unable to stop in time, the train plummeted hundreds of feet into the river below. But when the officers reached the wreckage, Mo D. Lon was gone, vanished without a trace.
Compelling, correct? But in my way that I need to do so, I looked into this. I found an interview with Bob Daisley, the bassist. He had an interview with Rolling Stone and he was the one that wrote it because apparently Ozzy Osbourne was not lyrically inclined. So the bassist wrote this song. It all started with the music that someone said kind of sounded like a train. So Um, from there, he put the lyrics to it. But it's actually about the state of the world at the time. It was about the threat of World War III that was constantly lingering. It's about the Cold War. And then just a quote from there, it's crazy, but that's how it goes. Millions of people living as foes. So, case closed on that one. I'm sorry to debunk it, but I also wanted to bring it up because I also think things like this probably did happen, but just not this case. Have you guys ever seen the show Hell on Wheels? It's about when they were building the railway and how they would just kind of move the town and then have tents set up and everybody be working, and then they would it's just what happened. And then they would move further, and then they would migrate the town and just keep going so that people could continuously work and live while working on the railway. And I just have no doubt that some crazy stuff went on back in those times. I do recommend that show, although it does get weird. But the first season's really good. But I'm sorry to say this is not true. But again, this is the kind of thing I know some people don't like that I feel this way, but I think it's just as important to find out what's not true as it is to see things that we think are true or want to believe. It's how we discern. I'm turning this volume all the way off. I can already feel my copyright issues coming. But check out this drone footage. Um they didn't specify where, they just said it was on the East Coast, New Jersey, Maryland. I believe this is New Jersey, at the Jersey Shore area in the United States. I I kind of put this in because not kind of. I put this in because s- things just keep happening. The fires and the flooding and the storms and the drones and the disclosure and the election and you know, all of the layers of it all. And things keep getting just kind of pushed aside, like the drone thing. We don't even talk about it that much anymore because what's the point really? And I think most people feel that way, and that's sad. But it's also like you can want the answers all you want. They're not going to give them unless they want to. Here's one more on the drones thing.
Your first question was if China or Russia. If Russia owned it, they wouldn't be battling in Ukraine. It'd be over. Putin's ego, it wouldn't have happened. China, they would control us. Even they pretty much do now, but even more so. So that goes back to my original premise. It's either something that's extraterrestrial or something that we have in our skunk works that we are reverse engineering.
Reverse engineering. Isn't that what I said yesterday about I think it was Lockheed Martin who had the contract on a piece of a wreckage that was found? Man, I forgot to find that document. I will find it. I will find it and I will show you. And I I don't know how to say this for politically correct purposes, but I see a lot of people on TikTok and Instagram and just kind of in general talking about how they're going to move to China because they're just kind of fed up with the United States and they're finding out through Red Note how wonderful China is. And I have never been there, but I can tell you that I think it's very short-sighted to say it's a good idea to just move there because it is different. It is not the same. And if before you say anything really negative down in the comments, I'm just going to ask you pause, go to Google and search for China's annual dog meat festival. And don't just read an article. Deep dive into that. Give yourself 5 minutes on it and then you tell me what a great place that is to live. Things are weird in the world. They're not just weird here. I'm sure. Things are quite weird here right now. I will admit that. But just this is the part where I say do your own research. Stop, don't just jump on this train because TikTok's going to be gone. I mean, does it really matter? And I know it's about your freedoms and your rights. What freedoms and rights do you think you're going to have when you leave here and go there? Just curious. That's all. I'm going to leave it there about that so I don't get too much backlash. Be smart, guys. That's all.
AI can now officially read your dreams. When you look at anything like this grass field, your brain's neural pathways form a specific pattern, sort of like a heat map. And every possible thing you look at or can even imagine has its own unique pattern. When you dream, your brain behaves much the same way, forming brain frequency patterns based on what you're dreaming about. Well, Asa Raskin from the Center for Humane Technology announced that they've done some tests, and what they discovered is impressive but incredibly alarming. They put a test subject inside an fMRI machine, which can read brain activity, and had them look at an image, in this case an image of a giraffe, and the machine mapped out their brainwave pattern. They then hid the image and fed only the brain map data to an AI image generator, probably a little more advanced than Midjourney. An AI that has never seen the original image of the giraffe, nor had access to an internet database that stored the original image either. It then generated, strictly based on the fMRI brain map data, what it determined that the person was looking at, and this is what it produced. Not exactly the same image, but I don't think you understand what it means that AI can now turn this into that with this level of accuracy. And we're still quite early in this technology, so it's only getting better from here. Then they took it a step further. They showed the test subject in the fMRI machine a video, and on top of generating what the subject is seeing, they also wanted to find out if the AI can read your inner monologue, the words you think to yourself in your own mind that no one else knows about. The test subject watched this video and was told to narrate what was going on in the video inside their own head. Here, let's do it together. You ready? Did you get all that? Now again, given only the subject's brain activity heat map, this is what the AI determined the person was thinking. I see a girl that looks just like me get hit on the back, and then she is knocked off. Probably a bit different than what you thought, but this is literally AI reading our minds, and all it takes is someone's fMRI brain scan data. Our thoughts and dreams can now be leaked to the world. Give it a few more years and this technology will get near perfect. And sure, fMRI machines may look like this today, big, clunky, and all around you, but that technology is also going to improve. What if we have fMRI Apple Vision Pro goggles 10, 20 years from now? You'd be able to see and read what someone is thinking or even dreaming by just looking at them.
I don't support this. We have to have the freedom of our own thoughts and our own processes. We are not all the same. We all process things differently. We've all had different experiences. You can't just hear the darkest things in someone's mind and make up your mind that they're bad. And you can't just hear the most sunshiny, happy thoughts and assume that they're always happy. We're multifaceted beings, and I think it's extremely dangerous to give people the ability of a snapshot in your head. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. This scared me a lot, and I wanted to share. I don't like that.
Did anyone else find the invitations to the all-white party extremely weird? This is the highest profile party in the world called the All-White Party. It's hosted by billionaire Michael Rubin, and it happens every year on the 4th of July. But there was something about the invitations that just didn't sit right with me. This one is Tom Brady's, this one right here is Drake's, and this is Quavo's. You can see all of the celebrities' invitations if you just look them up. But if you pause and look at the artwork, there's some weird stuff going on. These invitations were done by George Condo. This is a very popular artist, and some of his artwork goes for millions of dollars, and he gave each celebrity their own unique invitation. And I looked up some of his artwork, and he has a lot of interesting stuff, including when he collabed with Kanye West for one of his album covers. He drew him up a bunch of artwork. Yeah, I mean, speaks for itself. A lot of people question what actually goes down during this party, especially after they saw what Michael Rubin made Meek Mill do, jumping around like a bunny because he supposedly lost a bet. And then in the private jet, when Lil Baby and Meek Mill were saying that they were gonna get drunken hugs if they don't behave at the party.
Tonight, I don't care what anyone says, you're getting a drunken hug. You too, drunken hugs are coming tonight.
I feel like I don't know what that means. Drunken hugs sounds invasive. Hugs are nice, but it feels a little forced. Uh, in case you didn't know, Michael Rubin, this is his white parties. He he is the founder and CEO of online sports merchandising retailer Fanatics. So he has a lot of clout, I guess, a lot of connections. And I guess he's the one that holds these white parties, or did. I have no idea what's going on now that so many things are being exposed, but it's just a little odd. It's all odd. Something's up. Something's up. And these people, they can laugh and they can say, no, 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 I don't want your weird drunken hug or whatever. But I mean, you all went. So I was wondering if you guys had ever heard of, oh my gosh,
The Visitors, the great.
I think his name is Whitley Schreiber. If I said that wrong, I'm sorry.
Phrase.
Oh, you know people that are connected to them.
Of course.
Oh.
I am. That's why an implant. That's what it is.
That's why what?
The implant in my ear is my. It'll turn on during the interview, and you'll be talking to me and to them.
You don't have an implant. You're pulling my leg.
No, I'm not telling you the truth. You don't know about it? You never read the books?
I read Communion.
Oh, okay. You've only read Communion.
I've only read Communion.
Okay, yeah, I have this. Well, I'll tell you the story. I'll just give you a brief preface now.
Perfect.
It was put in 1989. I was wide awake when it was done. It was done by two people. There's a whole lot of people who are connected with the Visitors, who are connected with them, and these were two of them. I couldn't use it for years, but after my wife died, it began to become useful, and it now is my absolute go-to. It's like having an unbelievable AI, only whatever's on the other side of it is not artificial, but brilliant. It works with me when I'm writing. At 3 o'clock every morning, I get up and there's a dialogue that goes on. It's not like channeling. It's much more direct than that. It's very direct. And during interviews, it will be working most of the time.
Can you see it behind your ear?
You can feel it, yeah.
You can feel it?
Yeah, it's right here, yeah.
Have you ever had a doctor look at it?
Absolutely. I've got an MRI scan of it, in fact. I'll send it to you on my phone. I mean, a CT scan of it. That CT scan was done by someone in the CIA.
What?
Who wanted it very badly to be taken out, but I wouldn't let him. Yeah.
How did you get a CT scan done by somebody in the CIA?
No, it was done. The CT scan was done privately at his request by a doctor who he called and set up.
Okay. How did a CIA person get to find out about your implant?
I'm known to them, to the IC, to be a legitimate close encounter witness, and they are interested in that.
Why do you think the CIA is so interested in people who have had close encounters?
Well, I think they kind of backed into it because their brief is foreign intelligence. And this is about as foreign intelligence can get. And when the CIA was first founded, the Roswell incident occurred. The Army Air Corps became the Air Force, and the CIA was founded, and the National Security Act was passed, all in the same few months. Mm-hmm. And
this was like July
47. July to October of 47. And so all of the infrastructure was then in place. And I think it was just a very natural thing that CIA would be the go-to agency to study this.
I had not heard of him. And this clip I found after I saw the first one. And the first one is this one. First one for me, at least. This gives me such X-Files vibes. So, This says in 1992, Whitley Schreiber attempted to have an alien implant removed by a surgeon, but the procedure had to be stopped when the implant responded to the removal attempt. So he said that didn't want it removed, but this is video of him trying to get it removed. So I don't know what happened there. Maybe he changed his mind because it was a few years after it happened. Maybe he was over that. But I actually got a little anxious there because I wake up, honestly, almost every single night around 3 a.m., if not a little sooner, whatever. And I actually have documents on my desktop. I started writing these, like, I don't know, I don't want to call it like poetry, but these like philosophical like paragraphs. I actually felt almost like an out of body experience, like, or I guess not that. I felt almost like some sort of channeling thing, which is really weird. And maybe it's just because I was so deliriously tired. I felt kind of like not all there when I did it. But when I read it back, some of it was really, uh, really intriguing. I'm not going to share that. But, but yeah, that just kind of got me because maybe I have an implant. I'm just kidding. I don't think that at all. But I do wake up in the night almost every single night now.
I'll be able to see this on the video. I'm fascinated.
All right.
I'll make it bigger.
Ooh, look at that white thing.
See, this little last.
But then it goes, I guess it went under.
But that's the hard part, I think.
Oh, but it disappeared again.
Exactly.
It's actually moving now.
Well, he's poking it, but it went under.
It's on the run.
Well, it kind of is, because I could see it just bright as day, and now it's, I don't see it. The chin. You can see it with glasses or whatever.
I hope I'll be able to see this on the video.
Yeah. So I don't know what that's about. If anybody else knows about Whitley Schreiber and wants to share some information, I would love it. I'm going to go ahead and make that the last clip, though. Aside from the happy one that I'm going to show you right now. And this is just, it's so, so short, but it's about the importance of showing up at any age. And just the way this guy lights up is precious. That's it. That's it. Just, I've seen other videos like this of, like anxious little kids before a recital and the way that they light up when they see their family there. It really is so important to show up for each other. And it's not just at graduations or recitals or the big things. It's about when you just feel like you need someone there and someone shows up for you. And that's really special. So I hope everybody has that. And I hope you know that this is a safe place for you. And I hope everybody is just having a wonderful day. I hope you enjoy these clips today. Kind of a hodgepodge, but a lot of things that really got me thinking. So I cannot wait to hear what you guys think. I'm going to let you go. Have a beautiful night. Have a beautiful day. Have a beautiful life today, guys. I just want to say I hope you're happy and I wish you the absolute best. Good night to my amazing grandmom. I love you. And that's all. So good night, beautiful souls. Debbie signing off.